You know what's wild? Milani Cosmetics backend is sitting on untapped revenue and it's hiding in plain sight. $200 million brand, viral blushes, sold in 75 countries, but I signed up to their email list and I just received discounts, basic reminders, generic emails, and that's it. No strategic flows, no long-term nurture. So that's why I'd rebuild the Klaviyo strategy from scratch, from traffic capture to post-purchase automations, and unlock 30 to 40% more revenue on autopilot. This is how your brand can do it too. Let me show you. Okay, so let me zoom out and explain the problem Milani is having, and probably the problem you're having as well if you have an e-commerce brand, especially in a competitive niche. So you're getting traffic on site, whether it's through organic means or through paid ads, but only 2 to 5% are converting into a customer. That's because only 2 to 5% are in this stage, which is the ready to buy stage. The other 95%, 97% of traffic is interested. They have some level of interest, but they don't have the conviction needed to make the purchase because they are not in the awareness level needed. So what we are going to do is we are going to capture 15 to 20% of the highest intent visitors, so the ones that were closest to buying, and we are going to retarget them using an owned channel, in this case the email and SMS channel, and we are also going to be retaining these customers post-purchase. So let's start. The first step to doing all of this is capture. We can capture up to 10 times more site visitors by using this strategy. You have a look at this report in your Shopify reports, so the session by landing page, and map out all of the significant landing pages that are getting significant traffic. On the blog pages and content pages, you want to have different incentives because the awareness level of that traffic is different. They are on your site to learn more about something or just to get some info. But for other pages like collection pages, product pages, homepage, etc., you want to have a different pop-up where the incentive is a discount that helps them make a purchase. Once you have different pop-ups on different pages, you want to test as many incentives as possible. So list out all of the incentives you're comfortable giving. That's what we would do for Milani Cosmetics. We'd ask them, hey, what incentives are you comfortable to offer? What are you able to offer? We'd list all of them. Even if they don't sound good, it can be like a freebie that people don't actually want. We'll just list all of them and we test them one by one to find the best incentives, and then we find the best format. What do I mean by format? For example, that's one format where you've got, on the first step, you tell them, hey, you've got this percentage off, tell us a bit more about you. Okay, so we make it about them. And another format is this, one free shipping, and then you simply give them a yes or a no. These two formats are the highest performing formats. Don't have a format like this where you ask for their email on the first step. Okay, the first step, make it a simple question or a simple low friction button click. And then after that button click, you can show them the email input field. And on blog pages, like I was saying, you need to have something that does not require them to buy, okay? Like a freebie, a free guide, anything that's valuable that does not require them to buy, that's going to work better on blog pages. And again, you want to test these freebies one by one, systematically, and again, test the format, like I was saying, and we are going to test every variable possible. We're going to set up a bunch of A/B tests, for example, with the close icon and without, testing the speed timing, testing a normal page pop-up versus a full page pop-up, testing the trigger timing. So basically testing every variable possible systematically, one by one. And that's going to help us get that up to 10x email collection. And on the pop-up, for Milani especially, on the pop-up, we would ask them a high leverage question that can help us determine who are we talking to, what do they want, what's their problem. And based on that, we can personalize the flows to speak differently to different types of people depending on what they answered on this step of the pop-up. And then before we jump onto the flows, we have this important step, which is the warm-up. Even if Milani has been sending campaigns for years, even if they've got a few flows set up, whatever, 9 times out of 10, when I audit Klaviyo accounts, there is always, 9 times out of 10, there is damage done to their deliverability. And we are going to fix this by using this warm-up infrastructure. We basically just set it up inside of their Klaviyo account, and it's going to automatically segment their email list based on criteria that we have set. And it's going to automatically send warm-up emails that ask for replies, that get engagement. By engagement, I mean a reply and a link click. Okay, these are not normal emails. These are emails optimized to get you that increase in domain reputation. It's going to tell inbox providers that, hey, this domain is sending important emails. We should get them to the primary inbox. and probably not send them to spam or the promotions tab. And as you can see, some of the results over here, 200% increase in open rates, before and after, 80% increase in open rates, 100% decrease in bounce rates, right? That's the warm-up step. After that, we have the flows. First, let me talk about the acquisition flows that will decrease the CPA. By decrease the CPA, I mean get you more conversions without spending more on acquisition. So first of all, we'll have the welcome flow, right? This is to catch the lowest hanging, which are people who are in this stage, the product aware stage, okay? They're considering between Milani and other beauty brands or other cosmetics brands. So in this flow, we need to show why Milani Cosmetics, talk a bit about the story, compare the products, okay, depending on what they were looking for on site. Okay, remember this, compare the products, and have focused emails that pinpoint objections, all right? Don't just have designed emails that just look good and sound good, but don't actually do anything. You want to focus on one objection. Every email should be focused on one pain point, one objection, or should clearly follow up with the discount, okay? Don't try and do all of those things in one email. Have separate emails. That's why we have about 10 emails inside of the welcome flow. And these emails are a mix of designed emails and plain text emails, because you need plain text emails to have a one-on-one conversation with the customer. So for example, one of the objections for this brand was the price, and we can just pinpoint it. Hey, you're probably concerned about the price. Let me explain why. You're right. Yeah, we are not the cheapest, etc., etc. Basically, make it make sense for them to spend more on your brand if that's one of your objections. And this flow is going to span across 2 weeks. But even then, about 90% of the people that enter the welcome flow will not convert using the welcome flow because they need more conviction building. Okay, they landed on your site just because they were interested, right? We need to build conviction from scratch by building trust in the brand and building desire for the products. Because when someone has enough trust in the brand and enough desire for the products, and we keep adding touch points that they are consuming, okay, and touch points from different angles, if we keep doing that, at some point in time, they are going to reach a conviction threshold, after which they are going to buy. Now, this conviction threshold can be months away, or it can be a few days away. But we want to set up marketing in a way that will handle the most skeptical buyers. Okay, so that's why we use over 30 different angles to build trust, over 20 different angles to build desire, and we created this flow, the Endless Nurture Flow, which has about 40 to 50 emails that span across 4 months, and each email has a purpose: either build trust using a certain angle that we have tested, and build desire using a certain angle. We stack all of these emails in one flow, right? And this is going to handle the largest chunk of your email list, which is profiles with no purchase, okay? About 70% of your email list consists of people who are just sitting in your email list. They've gone through the welcome and they're just sitting in your email list, receiving generic campaign blasts. You don't want to do that. You want to have personalized flows for them like this, where the copy acknowledges that they've never tried the product, and the emails are micro-topic emails that focus on one specific pain point or one specific objection or a desired outcome. Yeah, just focused email. And then alongside the Endless Nurture Flow, because this flow is evergreen content, there are no discounts in this flow, and it can run all year round, even if the brand has sales. So if Milani Cosmetics was running a sale, let's say Black Friday, they can turn off the welcome flow because it offers a discount, but they can keep the Endless Nurture Flow running because there are no discounts. But alongside the Endless Nurture Flow, we have the Downsell Flow, which is a sequence that has 4 automated offers. Each offer has an announcement email, launch email, a countdown email, a follow-up email, and a countdown email. And each offer goes out every 3 to 4, because the Endless Nurture Flow is going to be building conviction, okay, subconsciously in the back of the head. They're going to be skimming through the content, reading it. Okay, it's going to build conviction over time. But every few weeks, we want to have an automated offer that is personalized to non-buyers, acknowledging them, saying, hey, you haven't purchased, here is an offer for you to try the products. And this is automated. This downsell flow runs across 3 months. Okay, this works a lot better than generic campaigns that announce a sale, because here the copy is personalized to them. It's exclusively for non-buyers that have not tried the product. And then these flows, these long nurturing flows on top, will generate traffic. They will generate link clicks. People will go to the site, as well as the site that's naturally coming to the site from organic content or paid ads. That's why we have abandoned flows. These are more like the middle of funnel stuff, where you want to acknowledge that they've taken an action on site. And there is a misconception. These flows, like when you watch a Klaviyo course or Klaviyo email, or if you listen to other agencies, they're going to say, hey, remind them about the card. Say, hey, you forgot your card, come back, blah, blah, blah. That's not how you do it, because they did not finish checkout. Not because they forgot, okay? they don't have the memory of a fish. They did not forget. The reason was hesitation. They hesitated about something. They did not have enough conviction in the product. Because if they really had enough conviction in the product, they would have completed checkout even if they had to drive back home to get a credit card. Okay, so we need to build conviction inside of these flows as well. So what we are going to do is we are going to have emails that first acknowledge direction, okay, make so that the email feels personalized to them, and then at the bottom, nurture them, answer why the brand. Have personalized emails that personally follow up and ask, hey, do you have any questions? Because if someone has a question, they are not going to be responding to this marketing type of email that's fully designed by designers, whatever. You want to have a plain text email coming from one person asking, hey, do you have any questions? Okay, these are the types of emails that get responses when people do have questions. Okay, you want to show some social proof. You, again, even in this flow, you want to handle objections like price, shipping time, quality, or whatever. Use unique angles to follow up with your subscribers. They've seen a ton of abandoned checkout emails. They haven't, because you have to understand, it's been like a decade that e-commerce is around. You are not the first brand they are buying from. Okay, they received multiple cart emails. You need to basically create a pattern interrupt and have unique angles that send out, and again have nurturing content in the back end of the flows, in the bottom of the emails to answer the question, why this brand, right? Show some of the behind the scenes. You might want to use some statistics, some studies. I know this email is not very pretty, but that's just to get the idea across. Use some studies, statistics, different persuasion methods. Again, have some follow-ups, etc., etc. All right, that's just briefly touching on the abandonment flows, but these are some of the most important flows. All right, you need to get these nailed and tested. So these flows are going to decrease your CPA, get you more conversions without spending more. And then after the purchase, we have the LTV flows. Flows that will increase the LTV. Some do it directly, some do it indirectly. Let me show you how. First, we have the immediate upsell flow that will trigger when the customer is excited and they've just bought a product, they're in the buying mood. All right, within 5 minutes, we are going to send them an email saying, hey, you can add some more stuff to your order and get a discount and save on your additional product. It's going to give them 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours to add products to their existing order. So it's the same order ID, the same shipment, they don't have to repay. Okay, and we have a look at this report inside of Shopify to understand what are the items that are frequently bought together, and we would have different emails, okay, depending on those items. And then you have the flows that indirectly increase LTV before we ask them for the second purchase. You have the thank you flow, you have the review request flow, and the endless loyalty flow. These flows are just here to lay ground for loyalty. You need to have a heartfelt thank you flow coming from the founder or a CE level person with a one-person sign off. You need to have a review request flow. Even though calling it a review request flow, this is more like a personal check-in with your customers after 14 days or whatever time range you think is appropriate to ask them how was their experience. And unlike other review request emails, don't just ask for a review request. Genuinely check in and ask how's it going. Show that you actually care. And we can also the two birds, one stone effect. I don't know how it's called, but using the same email, we can say, hey, just let us know how was your experience. And here we can link the positive answers to a external review platform like Google Reviews or Trustpilot, so that when your new customers, when your new site traffic, when people come across your ad and they search your name on Google, a bunch of positive reviews are going to come up. Okay, you're going to have thousands of reviews, and that's going to help you get more sales on the front end. And when it comes to the neutral and the negative experiences, we don't want that to be displayed publicly. That's going to affect the reputation and also decrease your review score. Instead, we want to catch these internally using a Google form so that you can internally improve your processes. So these will be linked to an internal Google form, and these will be linked to a review platform so that you can strategically direct the reviews. And then you have the endless loyalty flow. This is a flow that spans across months, okay, and it's going to trigger on customers who have bought. It's going to give them value that they actually care about, okay, stuff that is valuable, reinforce their decision, okay, giving content to reinforce the decision of buying from your brand, okay. Don't let them feel buyer's regret, where they're like, oh, I wish I bought from this other brand. Okay, show why they made the right decision. Just have value emails, content emails that makes them feel part of a community. All right, keep sending this type of content. Don't send it manually. Set this up as a flow so that it spans across 3 to 4 months, because this will lay ground for loyalty. It's going to embed something in their brain where subconsciously they will feel like they owe you something. because you've been in touch with them. You haven't been asking them for anything. You haven't asked them to buy it again. They bought from you, and now you're just giving them value. You're giving them content that they actually like, because customers who've invested in your brand, okay, by invest, I mean, they've bought your product. They want to learn more. Like, even though they've bought, they like to learn more about the products they're using, the brand they bought from, etc. And then we are going to have a dedicated flow, a dedicated win-back flow for first-time customers, because the second biggest chunk inside of your email is profiles of exactly one purchase. They've made one purchase and now they are sitting in your email list. You don't want them to, you don't want to try and get them back using generic campaigns, because it's not going to work as well as this. Because here we can acknowledge them, say, hey, you've tried our products for the first time. How was it? Usually people repurchase around this time. Here are some recommendations, etc., etc. So you want the copy and the strategy and the offers to be personalized to first-time customers. And this is similar to the downsell flow, where we have 4 offers that span across almost a year, and each offer goes out after every few weeks. Each offer has an announcement email, a launch email, and a countdown email, personalized to first-time customers, making them feel special, letting them know that this is only for them because they purchased, they tried the product for the first time, and we want them to come back. But we are not going to be sending these offers blindly. We are going to be having a look at the data to determine when does a customer become lost. So just download this app, you can get this graph to see how long did it take second-time customers, your existing second-time customers, to place their second order. And you can see from the graph, okay, what I like to do is I like to take the 80% mark and say, okay, 80% reordered after day 30. Bear in mind, this will be different for your brand. For some brands, it's 60 days, 90 days, 100 days. This is specifically for a brand, so don't copy this. But we'll have a look at this 80% mark. When do those second-time customers reorder? Because we don't want to give them offers and discounts if they were going to reorder anyways, okay? That's going to lose margins. Instead, we want to have a look at the data and use that as the trigger for this flow. Similar for repeat purchases. In this flow, we personalize the flow we personalize the offers for them and say, hey, you've bought from us multiple times. We appreciate you so much, etc., etc., etc. Here is an offer just for you because you're a special customer. And yeah, just having offers lined up that will span across months, okay, almost a year. And these flows will basically make campaigns, about 80% of campaigns, redundant. You will not need campaigns anymore. You will only need like product launch campaigns, so announcing something new, brand new, or like Black Friday. That's the only time you will need campaigns, when you have a solid automated system like this. Now, if you want some of these angles that I've shown you here, you can go and sign up on our homepage. There's a free lead magnet. You can get some of the templates and the angles, and you can go ahead and test them alongside your existing emails and see the difference in performance.